Gonna miss this train. So Lord, we thank you in advance. People get ready, ready, get ready. Don't keep on changing. Get on board, get on board. People get ready. There's a train a-coming.
Good God afternoon, people of God. You have tuned in to The Solutions. Mr. Corey Wright, and as always, we know what the problems are. We know what we need to solve them. What I offer on this platform is solutions, dedicated acts of action that bring about true change, not just talked about change, and no excuses. Excuses are man tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere and monuments of nothing, broadcasted live from IntellectualRadio.com, our high radio station. People, as always, we looking for donations and sponsorship. You can go to my GoFundMe page on my Facebook page and donate. You can donate as little as $5. Any donation will be greatly appreciated. It's a great blessing because you're a blessing, great ground, and to keep and propel the show into to the galaxy, around the world, because we need a voice like this in our community. Somebody's going to uplift, going to tell the truth. And today is no exception. Today, we're talking about the reason, and we're going to give you the secret on this show today why there's so much violence and so much death in our communities. And when you really know the truth behind that, you will see that it's a $1 trillion business in organ trafficking because of the drugs and everything. Is, see, what's happening in our community is hiding an even bigger sinister business that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's organ trafficking. And when you really see just how many people have died and how many people how many organs are sold on the black market and how many people need these body parts, then you will see that the conspiracy to kill the black man is really in effect, because the reason why is because black organs have been proven scientifically to be a lot more better. They're better for your body. They're more healthier than other races. Now, I'm not saying that to cause any conflict or be racist or anything, but it's been proven that. And I want you to think about something. When you look at these gangbangers, you look at these people in prison, you look at all these young warriors, they are in excellent shape. Even the ones that smoke weed and drink are still in excellent shape. When they come out of jail, a lot of them have pump rock hard bodies. A lot of them are in great shape because they got to be physically fit to do a lot of things, and their organs are needed and they are precious. Let me just I want you to think about something. We're gonna start with a number, because I really want to shock those hard game bangers who think it's okay to take people's lives, who think it's okay to perpetuate this cycle, to think something is new. I want you to really think about that, because every black life that's lost, every bloodshed that happens on our street, there are millions and billions made behind that. And once you really see, and I hope this show opens the eyes of our young people, open the eyes of our people, open up eyes of all this gang banging, why there's dope in the communities, why there's why is all these vicious cycles put in our community? Well, I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to show you why, because of your organs. And I'm going to tell you something. They have been taking organs for years. They have been taking people organs for years, and they have been kidnapping people for their organs. But see, they found a rich source of organ supplies where they don't have to kidnap anybody. And that rich organ supply is in the black and Afro-American communities. It is in our communities, because every young black male shot and killed, their organs are taken out of their body and sold on the black market. So every time you kill another brother or another sister or another baby, you are supplying millionaires to get organs or to sell organs on the black market. I want to throw a number out here. Since 2001, 5,000 have been killed in Chicago, mostly black males. Since 2000, about over 2001, over 5,000 people, period, but mostly black males have been killed in Chicago. Organ harvesting has been tied to human trafficking and has become a booming business this last past century. But I want to throw an even greater number out there when it comes to human trafficking and organ harvesting. Since 1980 in America, 260,000 black men have been killed on American soil. Now, I want you to first think about how many people since 2001 that's been killed in Chicago, which has been 5,000. Then I want you to think about in America since 1980, 260,000 black men have died. Now, here's the thing about that. When you are shot and killed and you die, you have to be pronounced dead by a coroner, and your body becomes property of the state. Think about that. Once you die, your body becomes property of the state. Then they announce you dead. They have to release your body to the funeral home, and they have to release your body to your family. Now, here's the thing about that. When they release your body, they have the right to do or take out anything they want. That's the reason why they say to you, which is one of the greatest registries of the world, is the organ donation of being an organ donor. Because see, your information is in a database. But before they release the body, a lot of time to take what they want out of the body. So you don't know what they've taken out of the body before the funeral home get it, before it's released. And you have to sign for the body. That means that body, even though it's your relative, could be your son, your mother, or your auntie, it has to be signed out and you take possession of it. Now, you can't take possession of it. The funeral takes possession of the body, and then they do what it is. See, when you see your relative, again, after you viewed the body, they've already been embalmed. They've already been taken. So you don't know what has been taken out of that body. And see, I want to say something that was going to blow you away when I was reading this. Because illegal organs is a supply and demand. That a lot of the violence that is occurring is because of organ donors. And hear me good. And I want you guys to hear me, especially you hard up, suit up, gang banging, sawed off wannabe gangsters. Everybody and every person that you take down, they go into a pool of illegal organs. And here's the thing. Because when you look at the early 60s the early 60s to the late 70s, there was a lot of people coming up missing. Just like in Katrina, 1,500 black men came up missing after Katrina. But nobody's talking about that. Nowhere to be found. But I guarantee their organs is out there. But people were being kidnapped. They were being set up in hotels, whereas they meet a fine woman, they go to sleep, they put some of their drugs, they wake up and their organs are missing, and they land in a tub of ice, so they can be preserved, and so somebody can call them, or eventually they die because their organs are missing. You've had a lot of those people are nurses and surgeons who set you up. And believe me, the statistics of legal transplants being done in hospitals by doctors will blow you away, because a lot of times that's how a lot of doctors make extra money, by doing illegal surgeries for rich people who want to buy organs. So every time that happened and they found the body, it became a big thing. Everybody started to get noticed, and everybody started to go off. Everybody started to make a big thing on TV. You start hearing a lot about this organ trafficking. So a lot of people start getting on their P's and start being aware. But this is where they found out to be smart about it. Why do we have to kidnap somebody? This people of God, why do we have to kidnap somebody and steal their organs when black folks and gangbangers around the country are killing themselves for free, and we can just take their organs when they die. Because you know why? We got authority over the government. We run the government. So therefore, we got control of that body. So we can take whatever we want out that body. All the family is worried about is giving them a funeral. I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow you away when I read this. Since 1969, every black body that has ever been legally exhumed has always been empty. I want you to I want you to think about that. Every single black body that has ever been legally exhumed from the grave has been empty. Therefore, the organs have already been gone. And I'm going to give a few examples. But according to the American Transplant Foundation, 123,000 people in the United States is on the list to receive organs. 123,000 people that's on the list. Now, a lot of those people on the list are not rich people. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's a cure for AIDS, because there was a proven fact that AIDS was man-made, and there was what you call that thing when you get a patent for AIDS. There's a cure for cancer. You know, a lot of times you think about that, but what happens is there is another world on the other side of rich that you see or know nothing about. But I'm going to think about this. 123,000 people is on the U.S. list to receive an organ. 12 minutes, a new name is added on that list due to the lack of available. What's up, Fred? I'm glad you watched that. So right now is 123,000. That's just the count then. But every 12 minutes, somebody needs an organ. Now, I know a lot of times you got to think about this, because this is a subject that hit hard for me, because my future wife, the love of my life, I thank God for her bringing me peace. She waited 7 years for an organ. But don't last after 5 years. Look what happened to Walter Payton. He needed a transplant but didn't get it, and he died. My fiance, God, I bless her, I thank God for her, waited 7 years. So 2 years after the norm, people that don't last had to shovel herself out of snow just to get to Christ Hospital, to get it in Super Bowl Sunday 2015 in a blizzard. But here's the thing. In order for her to get that kidney, a young lady died in a car accident. So in order for her to live, somebody had to die. So I want you to really think of the communities. In order for these organs to get out here to this black market, somebody has to die. And let me tell you something. You are supplying the need organs by killing and destroying your brothers, destroying your sisters. And listen to me, babies, I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow you away. Since 2014, men, and I want you to really get this, especially you ones that want to sell dope, especially you ones that want to gang bang and hang out on the streets. Do you know since 2014, when the state arrests you or anybody arrests you, they have a right to swab your mouth for DNA to see if you, and this is what they said, get this. They say we want to make sure that your DNA is not a DNA we're looking for from a previous case. So that's how they had it. Or we want to make sure that you're not in the registry, or your DNA is not found in a murder, which is, you know, a legitimate reason if you think about it. But it's a good way to hide it, because once they swab your DNA when you're arrested, it becomes a part of a database. Now, if I am worth billions and I am dying and I need a kidney transplant, or I need a heart or a lung, it's easy for me to pay somebody to get that registry and find out where there's a match at and pay somebody to set it up. And when you think about this and you really look at the numbers, and I'm going to get into the numbers of how much stuff worth, because, you know, you got to really think about what is something worth as far as your body parts, because we don't even think about that. The U.S. Health and Human Resources Data Organ Procedure Reports says 121 100,333 currently awaiting organ transplants. 100,402 awaiting transplants actually took place legally in 2015. So you got 121,000 people waiting for organ transplants. 100,000 that were waiting before actually had a transplant take place legally. 2015. According to the World Health, one of many organ import countries may be used by the web patterns and can generate over $70,000 to $160,000 per organ. You talk, and some of them even more, because for a heart is $997,000. Now we're gonna get into that. 2006, they found out that illegal body parts in USA had a high demand. It was such a high demand. Now, when you look at some of our worst times, some of the worst game banging times, some of the worst of bloodshed and game banging was the years that organ donors needed more organs. Because you think about something. If I can get $997,000 for a heart, and all I got to do is wait for some game banger to shoot another one, or wait for somebody else to murder another one, or if I have a daughter and my daughter needs a kidney, all I got to do is wait for some crazed lunatic to kill an innocent baby, and I can get her organs when the coroner or the government takes possession of her body. Have we really thought this out, people? We think the drugs and the gang banging and the rap music is there to entertain. It is a $1 trillion business behind all this nonsense that people are not taking a hold of or not thinking about. They have no thought about it. Because think about something about America. You think about slavery in America. See, we never got our 40 acres in a mule. And what would 40 acres in a mule be worth today? But think about this. These organs. See, you got to think about something. You have no work to do. Because you are doing the work for them. And and I'm gonna tell you something. Why do you think, and this is gonna really blow your noodle or blow your mind, why do you think every time there is a black man killed on the news, it is always highly publicized? Why do you think every time one of us is murdered, even from Tribot, it is always publicized? You know why? Because the news sends a recording or sends information out to the illegal organ donors saying that we have more organs available, so you can make a call to that local government, to that corner, to get those organs. I'm telling you something, people of God. Let's see what Lovely Dean, thank you. Yes, Ms. Curry, when my grandson was born, doctor said he had to have surgery due to his liver and was big for his body. I knew right away that some rich kid needed it. Sure did. Sure did. Let me see what you said. Needed a liver. I told the doctor no. I told him not done. I had him transferred to a hospital, to another hospital, and his liver was fine. You're right. You're right. They need the liver. And I'm going to tell you something. When we talk about that, we think about that. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's going to blow you guys away. You know that there was a family that was supposed to get that pursued, they wanted to get the organs from one of their loved ones that died so that they could save one of their loved ones' life. And by the time they did that or got to the body was empty, that they filed a $6 million lawsuit. You got to think about this. Now, get this person's kidney, and the person was dying anyway. When the person died, when they went for the kidney was mysteriously gone. It was mysteriously gone. Other things about that, but I want you to think about that. Now, let's talk about the human body. Let me put a number human body. The human body dead with organs, with skin, with eyes, with tissue, with bones. The whole body is worth $7 million. People, when you kill somebody, that person that's lying dead in that gutter or lying dead on that street, their body is worth $7 million. Like you can take a car and take it for parts. They can take your body for parts. Ever look at a body at a funeral? There are certain things that why do you think their body looks so flat? And they can be big people, but when they're in a suit and they're laying in that casket, why do you think their body looks so flat and straight? Because there are things from their bones, their exoskeleton, their eyes, their heart, their lungs, their kidneys, a lot of things that's being missing, that's being taken. And when you look at that, they are really a shell because all of their stuff is being missing. Where do you think a lot of them get their lungs, get their limbs from? You know, there are pieces in your head that can be used to form or to have brain damage, or somebody that had brain. There are parts from your brain that can be used and harvested to help somebody's brain. There are some people who had damaged skeletons, that you can use their exoskeleton, even the cranium, in somebody else's body. That's why when a body died, they gotta rush that body quick. That's why you ever see when one of your loved ones die in the hospital, they rush you in there to pray over them and be sad. They pull the thing, they get that body out of there right away because they gotta get them organs out of there. Get them organs out of there, and we are doing it. I'm gonna tell you something else. Yeah. Where our organs come from? The dead. And they come from the bodies of our people that's being spilled on these streets. And it's been a proven fact since 1930. Get this, that organs in black folks, organs in black people are so superior. Now, that is not a race. That's not my facts. That is written down. You can look it online. It is written down. Because I'm gonna tell you something about those lynching. Something historic about lynching. They hated black people, but I'm gonna tell you something, and especially some of those Masons out there. When you look at bodies and they never said this. That's why they got the term "son of a gun." Because there are some things that was in the male scrotum or the male's penis that was taken out. That's what they get, because a lot of times, even then, they had erectile dysfunction. So they took things out of the male scrotum to put in their own scrotum. That's why they got the term "son of a gun." That's where the whole blueprint from the gun came from, looking at a man's penis. Now, I want you to think about something here. Body that was lynched in old days, their body parts was missing. Think about that. Do you know in slave ships, the people that died, they threw the bodies over, but a lot of them that was in good shape, they kept, because they already knew then in that slavery time that the black man's body was superior. Then they were trying to use some of the things from that black male there. But here's the thing. I want you guys to really, really think about this. Every man that was lynched in those days, their body parts, they was missing. Their heart was missing, their lungs was missing. There was a lot of parts that was missing. And a lot of times when you see them, they was missing male, female, and kids. They were always missing. That's why when they was doing a lot of experiment on people, especially in Africa, and especially in some of these other places, when they was doing this experiment, they were functions. And they were taking the body parts. And it's really become booming in the last 20 years. A lot of times, traffickers, they trick people, they're giving their organs at no cost. But they don't have to do that no more because the black community, the Latin community, and all the gang banging community is giving them organs for free. It's like them going into jewels of organs or Walmart of organs, but they don't have to pay no bills. You know why? Because we done paid it already. Think about something. Con artists convince a victim to sell their organs, or doctors would treat patients which may or may not exist and remove organs without victims even knowing. The thing that my soon-to-be wife taught me is that you have to research yourself. The doctor told her to do something that would have made her go on dialysis earlier, but she didn't do it. She researched herself, and in researching herself, she came back, and the doctor was upset because her health was better. And he was upset that her health was better because she didn't do what he said do. She researched herself because you know why? When a person goes to dialysis, that's $6,000 a section. So that's $18,000. Especially she was going before she got her kidney 3 times. That's $18,000 a week that this doctor was making by telling you to let your kidney go bad. Think about that. A lot of times, doctors, they will treat you for ailments that may or may not exist. They always, that's why when you go to the hospital, they always find something. You know why? Because they want to show, they want what you got in your body. They always find something. And the only times you get true treatment by doctors in the emergency room when all those doctors trying to save your life. And what they know is that most of us, especially African Americans, don't read up on our ailments, don't read up on our sicknesses. We take the word from the doctor like they're God, or they can't make mistakes, not understanding that they're human. But they're in a bigger thing because you got to think about the lifestyle of a doctor. To go to medical school, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. So a lot of times, just like they'll never cure AIDS, they'll never cure cancer, even though they got the cure, but then you'll never know it because you know why? The pharmaceuticals are making millions and billions of dollars on you taking medicines every day. My wife has to take medicine every day, and she's my wife in my heart. We're getting married next year. She takes medicine every day. My mom takes medicines every day. I go pick up my mom's medicine every other day, every other week. Why? Because these pharmacies are making tons of money. So they don't want you to cure anything. They want to keep the money to keep going on and on and on. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times you are not in the room when they're doing what they're doing. I had gastric sleeve surgery. I trust my doctor. I hope everything in there. A lot of people that have had surgery who are missing. There was a person that had, and I got the facts. There was a person that had a hernia removed, and when they had a hernia removed, they realized that half of their liver was removed. Sick, and then when they didn't realize that till they got sick and they had to do a surgery, and they realized that when they did a surgery that not only did this person cut out their hernia, but they also cut out part of their liver because somebody needed a liver, and they only left enough for them to function till they got sick. There are really real life body snatchers. Real life body snatchers. Decoded Science interviewed a former transplant clinic researcher for a major pharmaceutical, and he stated that he encountered cases where people was willing to sell their organs. It is such a there are people right now who's hard up and don't have nothing, who's willing to sell their organs. And there are places that will buy your organs, that will sell your organs. That young man claimed with his brother. The research later found out that that paid this young man money for his kidney. And our sources noted that even though they were waiting, money came somewhere and moved up the list fairly quickly. So when the money came, what happened was the Saudi Arabia paid this man for his kidney. And what happened was the person that's supposed to get it didn't get it. They moved the person that they wanted up the list. The doctor did it. And the doctor put this person up on the list higher than the person that's supposed to get it. And they end up getting it. There are real body snatchers, people. And I want to throw out a name for you. And it was on Channel 5, NBC, New York. Levy Rosenbaum was known as the kidney broker. He was known as the kidney broker because it proven that he had participated in organ trafficking. His indictment came from the black market sale of 3 kidneys. For 3 kidneys, he made $410,000. Think about this, people of God. He made $410,000 for 3 kidneys. Donors sold him their kidneys for $10,000. He resold them each for over $100,000. He made $410,000. He told the FBI he arranged the transplants at Epstein Medical Center, and the hospital acted as the facilitator for this. Donate your kidneys for money. You can actually enter into a legal contract to donate your body parts. Now, what I feel should happen is that when you donate your body parts, they should be, because I'm on the organ donor list. But, you know, when I thought about that, and I'm thinking about that, it should be given the first option to your family, just in case somebody in your family might need an organ. Then it should be given to those that give. But I want to read you some of the things that happen, and I want you to think about this. 12. Vance Anderson, 51-year-old painter of Philadelphia, died at Thomas J. Hospital in Philadelphia. Thomas Hospital due to complications of lung condition. By the time he was buried, his eyes, his heart, his brain, his pancreas was removed. By the time he was buried, they took his eyes, they took his heart, they took his brain, and they took his pancreas. The donation of the organs was donated for education, but occurred without the consent of his family. The hospital said that they was donated for science. Removed his eyes, his heart, his brain, his pancreas was removed, and his family was never told about it. They never gave his consent. But being dead, you become, again, like I said, you become a ward of the state until your body is released so they can take whatever they want to take out. But this occurred without the family knowing. 2013, Kendrick Johnson, a 17-year-old student of Georgia. This was all over the news. This was all publicized. And I want you to think about this. 17-year-old Kendrick Johnson, a student at Georgia, was found dead inside the gym, dead inside, and it was ruled as an accident. When his parents demanded an independent investigation, they looked at all his internal organs. Brains, lungs, liver was missing. These was stuffed with newspaper. So this is the story. He died mysteriously. Good shape. And see, when you have a match with somebody on the black market that got millions and billions, you would come up with an accidental death. You would end up they could send a Mack truck to hit your car and you die, say it was an accident, or say you lost control, or they got poisons and gases and things that you can kill you on contact. Just look at North Korea brother, dictator who killed his brother with something through one of his people, killed him. He died mysteriously. Now, did not agree, and they wanted an independent investigator. So what happened was they had the body exhumed. When they had the body exhumed and it was opened up, The cavities was filled with newspaper. Took all his internal organs, his brains, his lungs, his liver, they were all missing. And his body was stuffed with newspaper. I'm going to tell you something, people. Again, since 1969, no black body that has been exhumed has been their organs inside the body. It's always been empty and filled with something, whether it's newspaper, garbage, something. It's been filled. In 2014, Ryan Singleton, a 24-year-old Georgia. Now, I'm saying Georgia for a reason, because you know why? Georgia is a majority of black folks. And Georgia has a great gang banging culture in Georgia, just like Chicago, just like LA, just like in those urban rural areas with a high population of black people. They have a high population of gang bangers, and they have a high population of murders. What we look at as a community, and listen to me, government is not going to do anything because they're getting their cut. When you're looking for people to come in, the politicians, they're never going to stop the violence in these communities, because you got people that making trillions of dollars from the violence. You're not going to stop that cash cow. Why are we going to stop something that we're selling their organs for free? And here's the thing. It's not like we're taking them from them while they're alive. We didn't have to kill none. They killing themselves. And see, that is hid by the drugs, rap music, by the gang banging. In prison, you will be surprised when I tell you in prison what they sell in prison to get money, because you're locked up in prison. About something. If you murder somebody, you got life in prison. Do you think somebody gonna care about somebody killing you and taking your organs? No, 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 no. And you think about something. Prison, especially for our black men, especially for young men, prison, like a rat farm, is like a farm. See, the animals that's being slaughtered, think about this, people. Like the animals that's being slaughtered when they're on the farm and they're going to these meals where they're being cut, that it's the same thing. What do you have to do in prison? In prison, what do? Lift weights all day, exercise all day. You eat certain amount of food with a lot of protein, a lot of iron in there, a lot of stuff. And then what happens, especially the level one, the people, the mass murderers, you come up missing all the time. So what happens? In DNA, you are property of the state. I want you to get this, people. You are property of the state. Means that they can take your body parts and get rid of you, and you can't do none of it. And it's easy to say this prisoner was shanked by another prisoner. Or what happens is the warden to say, you know what, we have a wealthy billionaire that needs that man's heart. He's a match. So I tell you what, we're going to get you special privileges. We're going to give you a little money on the books, get you a little woman, hook you up, but I need you to go and shank that person. And see, what happens is, and the easy way, and I'm going to tell you how you had all this devilish, devious stuff in the back through gang violence. There is a term that they always use, gang violence. The reason why they use gang violence, because it's an easy shutting case way of hiding the truth about getting that organs. And every time we pick up a gun, every time we pick up dope, every time we hurt somebody in our community, we are becoming a part of this big conglomerate, and we're giving away a $7 million body for free. I'm telling you, people, I've exposed the truth. This is a big business, because people want your organs. 2014, Ryan Singleton, a 24-year-old Georgia person, went to California to pursue an acting career. He went to Death Valley, multiple organs removed. Think about this. What happened was, investigators told the family that his organs was ate by a wild animal. 24-year-old male from Georgia wanted to go to California. He go to California to pursue an acting career, and he happened to go to Death Valley. He went to Death Valley, and when he went to Death Valley, he was found with the rest of his body remain intact, but his eyes, his lungs, his liver was removed. And this is what they told his family. They told his family that a wild beast opened him up and ate those organs. Now, the beast was smart enough to open him up and select what organs, because wild animals eat whatever. They eat your legs, they eat your head, they eat whatever. Now, this had to be a surgeon or a brilliant lion or tiger or bear. This had to be animals, talking animals, to say, you know what, I'm hungry today. I got a taste for an eye, or I got a taste for a heart, or you know what, I got a taste for a liver. I got a taste for some inside parts. So you know what, let me rip open this body and let me select, let me eat this part. Come on. An animal ain't stupid. An animal gonna eat whatever body part he can eat. He's not gonna take the time to open up certain body, because here they found the rest of the body intact. And they tried to tear open his body that looked like an animal tore it up. Animal doesn't have time to break through all that cartilage or all that bone surrounding your heart, your ribs, just to get that. But nothing else in part. The animal, they want your arm. The animal, they want your, they must be like that duck, that frog rod, they be getting out the duck. That specialty, they wanted something special. So they want to eat that. That got to think about something. Another one, 2015. Rodriguez, a 24-year-old California state prison inmate, was found in a garbage can in a shower next to his cell. His body was almost cut in half, and his organs was removed. Mutilation occurred in medium width posts. Think about that. Nicholas Rodriguez, a 24-year-old Hispanic male, he was in California State Prison, and he was found in a garbage can in a shower next to his cell. He was cut in half and his organs removed. This was in a medium security prison, and you had officers on post. What happened was the head said, you know what, y'all don't do nothing. We need something. The black communities, the urban communities, and all these prisons, and why you think they're building prisons like they are? And people, if you want to call in and comment, you can call in at 708-223-8953. Again, 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. Why do you think they keep building prisons? You know why they keep building so many prisons? Because prisons are breeding farms for organs. What they need you to do is to murder somebody, and all they need you to do is to get locked up, and now you become property of the state. About something. Think about it. An inmate means that you are an inmate or you're property of the government. You ever seen the movie Life? In the movie Life, you remember in the movie Life, they were standing up there talking to the head of the guard, and they was like, why ain't that pig moving? And he's a pig. I'm tired. He said, tired, boss. He said, state of Mississippi don't care that you tired. Says Mississippi want this thing, and his ditch dug out, and Huckenbuck, that's it. State of Mississippi said we want this thing. Because now you are a part of the state of Mississippi. The part when he said that you are not in the gun line. If you so much stick your Johnson outside the gun line, it will be blown off. You will be blown away. of Mississippi. So you are the state of Chicago, of Cook County. You are the state of Illinois. You are a state of Joliet. You are a part of that state, meaning that you have no say so over your own body. Therefore, you are an easy target for human traffickers. Highest bidder gets your body. The highest bidder. A lot of these numbers are numbers at low numbers. If you got two people that need your kidney, it goes to the highest bidder. Now, demand on kidneys, and it has reached an epidemic level in the United States. And a lot of it has to do with a lot of this sugar, a lot of this stuff you drink. Do you know they add more straight sugar in drinks today? It's because it makes your kidney go bad, so it can be, so you will need one or you have to sell one, but they want you to do that thing. Let's take this Cook County tax on beverages. Do you know why this Cook County tax came out of beverages? I'm gonna tell y'all something that's gonna blow y'all away. It had nothing to do with because Cook County need money. It had nothing to do with, you know why? Because dialysis centers are being set up around the country, but a lot of these black people are going bad because of drinking. And because there is a high demand on kidneys in the United States, they want to try to save these communities. So they would rather for you not to drink pop and be murdered in the street. Listen, they would rather for you be murdered in the street than drink pop. Put this tax on so that people can start drinking more water or stop buying all this pop. When your kidneys go bad, they can sell. But even if your kidneys go bad, they can still sell other body parts. The FDA is regulating body parts on buying and sale of organs, body parts, and many other have been arrested. Why is the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, talking about body parts? We're supposed to be worried about food. But just like food is sold, so is body parts. Woo, people. I'm going to try to tell you something. I'm trying to tell you, man, we're going to get deep. Because when you really see, they want your bad kidney. They want a bad kidney. They want kidney, period. Organs and tissues are used for millions of transplants. There's no plan for waiting lists. A waiting list every year gets 100,000 people added every year. List for hearts, kidneys, and liver transplants. Every year, of America, 100,000 people is added onto the wait list for organ transplants. And they're waiting for a heart, majority of a heart, a kidney, and a liver. Organ trade is illegal in every country except Iran. Do you know in the country of Iran, you can legally go over there and sell your whole body? Iran, you can kill yourself and sell your body. Poor people in Iran to feed their families and to have to buyers in other countries, including the United States, to buy and sell off their body so that their family can be fed. People in Iran today that are living or that are rich or well off because their family members sold their bodies, organs in their body, so that they can eat and they can have something. So that yet more than 2 million products derived from human tissues are sold in the U.S. 2 million body parts are sold in the United States yearly. Think about something, people. 2 million people have to die for all these body parts to be sold. 2 million. And over half of those on the waiting list die before their turn comes up. Think about something. If you got 100,000 people that's added on to this waiting list every year waiting for organ transplants, and over half of them die. That's why I know God has an amazing call for my wife to be, because most people die after 5 years waiting on a kidney transplant, but she waited 7 years and she had one. So, and got one, and still doing good and living and strong. When I tell you, she's super strong, but over half of the people die waiting on that list. So think about that. If over half the people that's on the waiting list die, and I'm gonna tell you why half of them are dying. Is not because there's not organs available. It's because they don't know how to get them on the black market, and a lot of those people are getting sold, and a lot of organs are going on the black market. If all of the organs that was on the black market that was put up legally and legitimately, then the list would go down and dwindle to hundreds of thousands. But a lot of them are sold because you have rich people who if you think about it, rich people who got millions of dollars, that own millions and multi-billions, they're not going to die. They're afraid of dying. So what they're going to do is, and they didn't do the work, but what they're going to do is pay somebody to go get it. But nowadays, they don't have as much blood as they have on our hands, like we have on our hands for killing our own people, for dying. Because you know why? They don't have to do no work. Never understood gang banging. Even when I was young, I thought I wanted to, be. I've never understood it, because you know why? If lynched, murdered, mutilated, killed, and then for us to go and do the same thing, doesn't make a difference that we're not white or we don't have a sheet, or we don't burn the cross. Every time we murder somebody, we're doing a job for the people that want to see us dead. We're no better than any racist. We're no better than any Klansman. We're no better than any terrorist. Every time, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to go as far as to say that if you pick up a gun, or you're selling dope to our communities, or you're terrorizing our community, and you're beating and you're killing our young black people, black or white, you are a terrorist. You are a terrorist. And think about that. Back in the day, in southern India, now I'm going to tell you how precious hair is. In southern India, so precious that people made $70 every 10 inches. $70 every 10 inches for hair. Because a lot of people had weave mills, and in some of those places like Indonesia, in India, Cambodia, and some of them places, I'm trying to tell you, some of those places, people eat off of their hair. It was in 1999, Indonesia. 1999 started all the way until now, that a lot of people have to sleep with hats on their head with locks on it, because people was snatching their hair and selling it. There was people that was like, we get robbed or we get our purse snatched. They would snatch people and they would cut their hair off and sell it. That a lot of times groceries was bought for a whole year in some of those places from the hair of their young people. For you always see fathers, or you always see uncles, or you always see family members around the young girls with the long hair. They would snatch their hair because they got up to $70 per 10 inches. Now, when you convert $70 into their money, that's a lot of money. Just like Jamaica, one of our dollars is like 50 of their dollars. So if you gave somebody a $5 tip, you gave them $250 of their money. That's why when you go to these places in Jamaica, they say you don't have to tip the people, or you tip them, they have to be escorted by the police. Because if they make $20 or $30 in tips a day, they're making almost money. You think about that. When you look at body parts, because we're going to get into some body parts, and I want you to think about this. For your eyes, for your corners, for an eye implant, is $24,000 and $24,400. So every time a black eye closes, every time we murder or one of our black people are murdered, one of their eyes is worth $24,400. Now, we all have two eyes. Almost 50, that's over $50,000 for their eyes removed. When you, a lot of times, if you ever looked at a body in a casket, it looks like their eyes are glued shut, and it like their eyes are flat because their eyes are missing. Because a lot of times you can, people, especially people that's been blind, and some of these places that you can hook up their retina of their eye and they can see. They have had successful eye transplants where you can move the damaged tissue and hook up that good eye and they can see. You got some people in foreign countries that's walking around with some of the people in America, in Chicago's eyes. Ever watched that movie, Get Out? Get Out, the movie was saying exactly that. Whoever, when they did that movie, they was giving people on how people want to be you. A lot of times they're selling their body. It was a roundabout way, and the story was trying to hit, but if you got the message, it is true. Let's take your skin. There are people that need skin grafts. Some people have been burned. Some people have been born with birth defects. Some people have been shot. Some people have been hurt. Some people just need skin grafts. Do you know per square inch of your skin is $10 per square inch? Now, an inch is not much, and you have layers and layers of ectodermis. Under that, you have layers and layers of skin. Per square inch of skin is $10. Now, there are parts of your skeleton, like your cranium. There's like your bones, even your vertebrates. There are some with vertebrates that you can use. There are parts of your arms. There are some people that don't have limbs or don't have certain bones, that have broken bones that they can take. Do you know your skeleton, parts of your skeleton is worth $2,903 up to $5,500? It's worth. Now, a heart, or illegally, because illegally it says $119,000 for a heart, but legally it's still, a heart is worth $997,700. That's what your heart is worth. And the reason why I'm giving these figures, because you think about this. Since and I want to make sure I get the number right, since 2001, 5,000 black men have been killed. 1980, 260,000 black men have died in America. From what I just gave you far as numbers, I want you to think about that. Far as numbers, look how much money somebody have made in the black market. Let's talk about it. How much is your body worth? How much is your body worth? Your body's worth $7 million. Now, let me use this figure. When I got these numbers, I using these figures. So we're going to use this base number of 5,000 black men killed since 2001, and since 1980, 260,000 black men have died in America. I want to use this number. Now, bones, blood, and organs. Of 106,000 known transplant organs in 2016, of those are needed globally. Think about something. There are people that need blood. And let's say, for instance, you got a red blood and they can't find that red blood, okay? And let's say, for instance, they swab people in jail. If they swab people in jail and find that somebody else in jail has your blood type, they're willing to pay the person in jail $337 for a pint of your blood. The jail doesn't give you a dime. The jail takes your blood and says that I'm taking your blood. If you can get special treatment, or we'll do something special for you, or we'll cook a special dinner for you, or we'll give you a few hours more in the yard. So they give you a little special privilege if you don't. That's why they always tell the prisoners, why don't you donate blood? Donate blood and we'll give you a little bit, or we'll give you a little extra commissary, or we'll give you a little something free, or you know what, we'll have hot dogs, or we'll do something nice for you guys, or you know what, we'll let you stay out of your cell longer, or you know what, we'll give you TV privileges. And they'll tell you you should donate your blood. But what they don't tell you is that every prison, in prison, they pay them $337 for a pint of blood. Now let's just think about that. Let's say, for instance, that pint of blood has come from one of those bodies. One of those bodies. Let's say, for instance, a pint of blood is worth $337 on the black market. Somebody will pay somebody in jail. Let's take 5,000. 5,000 inmates gave one pint of blood. The jail would make $1,685,000. Think about this. Now, there are millions locked up. There are millions locked up. So if that's just one pint. So in one prison, 5,000 inmates say, I want to give a pint of blood. Made $1,685,000. That's what that ward or those prison officials made. And everybody get paid off that, including the doctor. The doctor probably get $200,000-$300,000 off that. Easy. Now, let's say, for instance, over the country, and we got all these jails over the country. Let's just say 1,000 inmates give one pint of blood. 260,000 inmates give one pint of blood, okay? 86,620,000 they make. Think about this, people. You are not getting this. See, when we look at this gang banging, we look at this drugs, we look at the violence in our communities, we don't see the money behind it. A warden can get, think about these jails. Give me 260,000 inmates. Now, we got millions locked up. But I'm just giving you guys a low number. We got millions locked up. But if 260 men give one pint of blood, just one pint of blood, that the prison penal system makes $87,620,000. People, you got to think about that. Women, do you know how many people wish they had your good eggs that can't have babies? Do you know per one egg is worth $12,400 in the black market in the United States? You got some people right now, people. I'm about to really get into some numbers that's going to stagger you right now. For everybody that carried surrogate workers and surrogate mothers, in Indonesia, 20,000 to 30,000 a womb. Surrogate mothers. But do you know that 5,000 and keep 25 to 30,000 of that money? They make them do it. In the United States, a surrogate mom for carrying a baby for 9 months gets a paid amount of $80,000 to $150,000. There are people out here today that are professional surrogate moms. That's all they do is get pregnant year after year. A lady that lives in Virginia who has been a surrogate mom for 10 years, has carried a baby every year, and today she's a millionaire. You think about that. Kidneys make up 75% of the global organ trade due to diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart problems. What is in demand most of all organs is kidneys. It's kidneys because of high blood pressure, because of diabetes, and because of heart problems. Theoretically, your body, I'm going to tell you something. Your body, they did another study. Now, I gave you guys in the beginning a low number on purpose. The younger you are, African American males from age 12 to the age of 30, your body is worth $45 million on the black market. Think about that. What race, what generation is dying the most? What age group is dying the most in these streets? From 30 on down to 12, especially our men, especially our black men. Your body is worth $45 million. So every time a black life, a black man life is worth $45 million. This violence is a plan for us, for people to get rich on. This gang banging is a plan. People, you are worth more dead than alive. I'm telling you. And you're fighting for something you don't own. He got the wrong hat on. He got the game. You know, I'm telling you. That's why when the Black Panthers was dismantled and they flooded the communities with drugs and gang bangers, because it was to hide the fact that you're worth more dead than alive. Think about the notion of that, because a lot of people are worth it. Insurance policy. You got an insurance policy. Do you know why people got, what was the reason behind insurance companies? I'm gonna blow you guys away with this show. Insurance companies was to pay for funerals, but to give the people something back, because they make money. They have a part in organ transplanting and organ selling. So what happened was the insurance companies came into existence to give the people money. So they went look at the fact that they're making more money off their dead relatives being dead and off their organs. So they give them something. They pay for the funeral and they give them something. Settled. But you think about that. So all your insurance companies, because I learned something in the book. Most big companies, major organizations, building out organizations, they take insurance policies out on their business for billions of dollars. So once it's reached maturity, they cash it in, and that's money that they made off that insurance policy without taxes. And it's the same thing with our bodies. We're worth $45 million. So every time a black man is on the news dead, every time somebody is killed, every time somebody is killed in a drug bust, that's $45 million. They go another $45 million. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You got somebody watching news like cha-ching, cha-ching. So every time you hear somebody say, well, another black teen got shot, another black baby got shot, another black man got shot, another black woman got shot, another person died in Roseland, another person died in Inglewood, another person died in Marquette Park. You hear people on the other side like, up, they go another $45 million, up, they go another $45 million, up, there goes some more money. People don't get that. But let's talk about it. And people, let's stay on this ratio of 5,260, okay? Coronals, okay? We talked about coronals. Your eyes. Each eye is worth 24,400. 24,400. So that's 2 eyes. But let's just do 1 eye. The 5,000 people that was 5,000 black men that was killed, or 5,000 people that was killed since 2001. People made off one of their eyes $122 million just for 1 eye. 5,000 people that died, and somebody took one of their eyes. Somebody made $122 million off of one of their eyes, off of all their eyes, because 1 eye is worth $24,400. If you times 1 eye times 5,000 people that was murdered, or that was murdered in Chicago, that's $122 million made. Now let's take that 1 eye of the 260,000 people that died in America since 1980. You know how much was made? $6,344,000,000. 6 billion. Now, this is 6 billion made and nothing paid for. Think about that. Now, just for your loved one eyes, they made over $50,000. I guarantee you won't get no more than $15,000 or $10,000 from the insurance, unless you got a big insurance policy. I'm worth more dead than alive. But literally, in some circles, you're worth more dead than alive. So, for 60,000 black men that lost their life in America for 1 eye, somebody made $6,344,000,000. Let's talk about a heart. Okay, a heart is worth $9,997 $997,700. That's what a heart is worth. So 5,000 people that was murdered. 5,000 people that was murdered. Hearts are missing. You know how much somebody made? They made $4,988,500,000. $4,988,500,000. Now, let's take the 260,000 black men that died since 1980 that was murdered, and all of their hearts are gone. Okay, somebody made $259 billion, $402 million. Somebody made off of 260 black men dying and their hearts being removed, made $259 billion, people. And you wonder why this won't stop. Every time a black life is lost, every time somebody murdered, there's a cash register going off. And here's the thing about that cash register: you're doing all the work for them. The last case of you heard somebody being found in ice was almost over 10 years ago. Probably longer than that. Because they don't have to murder or kidnap anybody and take their organs, because we're giving them to them. $25 million. I want you to think about something. A liver is worth $557,000, $100. That's what a liver is worth. $557,000. Let's just take the 5,000 people that died in Chicago since 2001. Their liver is missing. Guess what somebody made off that? $2,785,500,000. With just those few numbers, I'm already over $1 trillion. And I'm just talking about 5,260. I'm not talking about millions. This is $1 trillion business. Make a rap song about killing somebody, jacking somebody, murdering somebody, you're gonna have a number one. hit. But if you make something positive about uplifting, like KRS-One did, and like some of the other rappers like Poe Righteous Teacher, they're not going to play you because you're not popular. They want you to go and kill that and let me get high and let me turn up and let me smoke. Because you know what? If you look at most gangbangers, you look at most people locked up, they in great physical specimen. They're in great shape. So you know what? Somebody is thinking about somebody gonna murder them or shoot them. Look at all the people that have died in Chicago just this year. Each one of those bodies is a $45 million price tag. And we really think that this violence is not planned or it's out of coming. We need to do something. We do know the facts on why it's happening, then we can change. I want to wake up people. I want people to be scared to pick up a gun. I want people to really think about what they're doing, because you know why? Somebody is walking around with the eyes that you closed. Somebody is walking around with the heart that you killed and stopped. Somebody's walking around with the liver that you killed and stopped. Somebody's walking around with it. It is amazing. Amazing. There was a story, and I'm going to share this story with you, and I read this, and it blew me away. There was a young boy who had a twin, and his twin died. And what happened was he cut his twin on his eye, on his retina. And the doctor said it's healed, but it's going to always be a permanent scar. And this permanent scar, it looks like a red line, and it looks like it opens up by the eye. And nobody ever had a mark like this, okay? This guy lived in New Jersey. He flew to Florida, and there was a couple, a billionaire couple, that was at a restaurant where he was there. He shook this man's hand and looked into his eye, and he was looking into the eyes of his brother. Guy had a retina transplant, and he had the eyes of his brother in that, and it scared him because he realized that this was his brother's eyes, and it was removed from the body. He had the body exhumed, and when the body was exhumed, it found the actual fact that his eyes was missing, and that this gentleman did get his brother eyes. This is how they killed it legally, because his brother put on his driver's license that he wanted to be an organ donor. And that's how they legally closed it. But said that they was removing the eyes. But again, when you're an organ donor, you give them permission over your body to take whatever they want and sell it. Now, let me really blow you away. Let's take the 206 black men that has died since 1984 in America. You remove all their hearts. You know what somebody else made off that? They made $144 billion, 846 million. All of those black died in America since 1980. And all of their hearts are gone, because it's a proven fact that there has not been one black body exhumed in America history. Really, my study and stuff looked at from 2000 and maybe 1969. Since 1969, there has not been a black body exhumed that's been full. It's always been empty. So you're looking at 260 livers gone, 60,000 livers gone from these bodies of these black men that died. Guess what? Somebody made $144 billion. Kidneys. How much a kidney is worth? A kidney is worth, especially in the United States of America, is worth $2,600 $262,900. That's how much a kidney is worth in the United States. So let's go back to the 5,000 people that died in Chicago, murdered, and their kidneys. Now they got two kidneys, but just one kidney is worth $262,900. Of those 5,000, somebody made 314,500,000 off of those 5,000 that died in Chicago off of one of their kidneys. Double that. So if you double that, somebody made over $2 billion just off of 5,000 people murdered in Chicago since 2001. In the billions. Now, same number for the people, the 260,000 black men died in America. You know how much somebody made? They made off of one kidney $168 billion, 354 million people. Bloodshed is big bucks. I'm gonna say this, and I want you to really get this. Just like the Koreans, the Indians, they all come to our communities and they rob our communities of the resources. They open up stores, they open up everything. We don't have enough black-owned businesses. We don't have enough business that's dedicated to putting something in our community, and we let people come in here and dry up all the resources. It's the same thing for organ trafficking. Everybody is coming into our communities and taking from us, and nobody's putting nothing in our communities. Cash loans in our community. You have all these liquor stores in our community. You have all these laundromats in our communities. You have all these restaurants in our communities, but we own nothing. People take the money and they go live in their nice neighborhoods away from our community while people study dying. So when you look at the statistics, you think about that people are really truly dying. Why are they dying? Now, when we look at all this stuff and we say to ourselves, oh, we about it. Do you know the projects was set up for expediently organ donation, black trafficking? See, what happened was black folks, a lot of their organs were so superior and much needed that the government said, let's put them all in one area. Put them all in one area that's a poor area, that's a rundown area, and we stop all the economical advantages in their communities, in their houses, and in their places. We'll put them in there. Let's break their spirits. Now, let's have them kill themselves. And if you look at the bloodshed in the projects, people were dying by the tens every single day. And organs was being transferred. It was all a plan, people of God. This violence is a mega business. And I know I probably teeing some people off. Somebody probably be like, wow, I can't believe he said it. It needs to be said. It needs to be said. Your ignorance in the community, your violence in the community, your gang banging in the community, all your dirty and devilish things that you're doing in the community is fueling this business. Sad that we don't understand that it's big business. There is nothing hard. There is nothing glamorous about hurting and killing your own brothers and sisters. There is nothing glamorous about death. We have to stop this violence and save our community. But we have to stop this. It needs to be said. You're right. It needs to be said. Platforms that don't want to speak on the truth, that don't want to talk on the truth, that don't want to get up and say these things when it needs to be said. We need to say these things, especially when it comes to organ trafficking. And you're making this known to people. You're making it easy to people. And all this violence that's happening in our communities is a result of that. Think about that. We own no poppy seeds. We don't produce no drugs in the communities. We don't produce no guns in the communities. A lot of us don't. Where's all this coming at? Because you know why? The more you kill, the bigger the harvest, the bigger the choice. And it's babies dying. And babies dying. There's kids and there's adults. There's people around the country. They are dying. These rich people are not going to die. You can't tell me that some of these rich people that you know they might have had AIDS that don't have it no more. You can tell me some things that happen. There are cures for stuff that people pay for. There is a whole nother world on that other side that we don't know. It's a mean world outside of where you live at. And you got to wake up to this. Nobody wants to talk about organs because tomorrow I'll be talking about sex trafficking. People are being snatched. That's why, because I want to wake up these conscience of these young people to think about what you're doing, what you're doing. All you doing, that's why when you see people ride in your neighborhoods and they see you standing on the street, they don't see no gangbanger. They see a $45 million price tag that's going to be dead in a matter of a few days where they're going to harvest your organs. That's what they see. And you got a lot of doctors making a lot of money under the table and behind the scenes doing illegal operations, or they organ donors. Because that's why you think when you murdered, they have you covered up and quick and identified and gone. They got to get them organs out of you. 1969, nobody that's been exhumed has had their organs inside them. For real, people, this is $1 trillion business. And you know what? You're the prey. Everybody in jail, you're the prey. And when you go to jail, you're no longer who you are. You are a ward and prop state. They can do whatever they want from you, and they can take whatever they want to take from you from parts. And since 2014, every time you are arrested, young black men, period, get this, you are swabbed. Swab you legally. And you going into a database. Now, I'm not saying that these tragedies couldn't happen. I'm not saying that these things that don't happen and people can't be kidnapped and stuff them. But I'm trying to tell you, you are giving away. You are so valuable. The communities, our kids, our people, you are so valuable. And here's the sad part about this. Everybody in the world and all these foreign countries see how valuable you is, except you. When you pull that trigger, when you sell that dope, when you beat that person to death, you not seeing how valuable somebody that they like, go ahead, you N-word, go ahead, kill your people, do this, because you know why? We gonna get your organs. Soon as that person is pronounced dead, think about something, people. Government has to pronounce you dead. Your body can be sitting there for 2 years, but you're not legally dead until they pronounce you dead. And they don't have to, and then this is what they and I'm gonna tell you, one of the greatest organ stealing terms that they get away with is they say they got to do an autopsy. Think about it. What is entail with an autopsy? They have to open up your body and see why you died. Well, you got this organ. You don't need this no more. Oh, you could have died because it's heart. Let me take that out. Oh, you could die because it's lungs. Let me pull that out. Oh, you died because your pancreas. Let me pull that out. Because see, I'm trying to see it. what it is. I got to research this more. You know, think about something. The toxicology report. That's altered because they don't want to let you know they stole your organs. People of God, this is serious. They're not playing. And see what you're doing. And I'm going to say this, the communities are farms, organ harvesting. That's what communities are. You know, are farms for organ harvesting. Jails are farms for organ harvesting. That's all they wait for you to do is to murder another person so they can get the organs. That's why they'll keep supplying you with guns. You'll keep being supplied with drugs. You'll keep being supplied with things because you know why? As long as you supply with them and you keep murdering them, somebody gonna get those organs. Somebody's walking around with somebody's ass a day. Somebody's walking around with somebody's liver a day. Fiance, love her to death. She was on a waiting list for 7 years. God blessed her to make it. 7 years. Most people don't live after 5. Walter Payton didn't make it that long. Some people don't make it, but she did. But there are people that's waiting on your organs. The next time you shoot somebody or the next time you sell a dope, somebody's making $45 million off your victim. Think about that, people of God. Think about that. Our communities is valuable because they're murdering each other. They're valuable for organs. There are people right now on dialysis. My girl told me how painful dialysis is. Could you imagine having to go through them sticking with those needles 3 times a week and have your blood recycled or can't go to the washroom for weeks? I admire my lady Antoinette Sloan so much. I admire who she is. I admire her because she told me some of the horrific stories. Your dialysis, your kidney don't work where you can't use the bathroom for weeks. You backed up. You know, people living like that, they don't want to live like that. And if they rich, they gonna pay somebody to go get a kidney. And these doctors are making millions of dollars under the table doing this, people. The greatest and the biggest registry there is organ donation. But I'm telling you, people of God, I had surgery. And I thank God for the doctor. I had the doctor on here. And I thank God. But I'm telling you, people, there are a lot of people who have routine surgeries to wake up without their organs. People of God, there is no tough guys out here. And you're not doing nothing. You're walking around a block you don't even own. You don't even pay taxes on. You're gang banging like you're really doing something. And all you're doing is acting like a wild animal on a farm. And you giving people easy pickings. In the early 80s and the late 70s, you had a lot of people that was kidnapped for organs. I remember it's just like with the stock market. In the stock market, when it first started, when you started stock market in the early 80s, they used to call people and get donations and they would get into stocks. So what they did was they got smart. What they did was, okay, we'll take the retirement money and we'll say we'll invest the people that works in retirement money. And then we'll give them a percentage while we make millions and millions of dollars off their money. And if we lose, so well, but if we win, we get money. And you see none of that money. You might leave the job with about 300,000 or 400,000, but they didn't make 400 million off your money. And they only give you 7% off of that. Think about something, people. We have already been raped as a community, as a people, through slavery, building a country that we never got anything back from. I can make you work because you're my property. I don't have to pay you. I feed you slop and do everything. It's the same thing. They're taking organs from our people without paying for them. And we're giving it to them because we're murdering in a murderous system trying to do it. And it's a $1 trillion business. People, wake up. Enough is enough. Black lives don't just matter, but they're worth so much. And if you know that your body on the black market is worth $45 million, maybe you'll wake up. Because if you don't recognize it, there's a whole community of rich people that does. Trust me, they do. So people of God, I hope this show wakes some of you guys up and make you think. Because it's a serious enemy out here. And it's time for us to get it. Again, people of God, tune in tomorrow. I'll be talking about sex trafficking and how they snatch girls, and you know, we got to start doing what we say we're doing because it's evil out here. Thank you for tuning in, people of God. And remember, if it was easy, there'll be no Minister Corey Wright. If it was easy, there'll be no Earl Winfrey and the Solutions Radio and IntellectualRadio.com or Solutions Radio Show. If it was easy, there'll be no you. God bless you and see you at work.
People get ready.